It's been a while, hasn't it? Salutations, fellow dudes and dudettes, and welcome back to Paper Mario. Last time we started the beginning of Chapter 4 and found out that they were missing the train. Thankfully, we managed to find it inside the back of the store inside of Toad Town, so now we have access to it as well as the rest of this chapter. When you think about it, this chapter is actually not real long. At the very least, is when you know exactly what you're doing and where you need to go, what you need to ignore. This is actually a rather short chapter. And it's not like the environment changes compared to the other ones, so I guess you could dock this chapter for that. But it is the most original out of the three because all the other previous chapters were like down to earth Mario design. It's like we had grass, desert, Boo House, more desert, essentially. But with here, we got a few toys to play with. I just realized what I said. It's been a while. Alright, new enemies. We got Spy Guys. Now, Spy Guys are a little bit interesting. They have an HP of 7, an attack of 2, and defense of 0. I say they're interesting because they can attack in two different ways. They can attack you from a distance with a slingshot, or they can attack you with a hammer. Whenever you deal damage to them, they will switch to the opposite weapon. The slingshot's hard to dodge because it's slingshot, it's really fast. However, when they use the hammer, you really want to guard against the hammer attack because otherwise you'll lose a command for a couple of turns. And that could easily drag out the battle, especially if he's able to take out both of your attack commands, your jump and your hammer. It rarely happens, but you want to take them out as quickly as possible. But since we had that meta guy in the battle as well, you would probably want to focus on him. You might have noticed that fat guy. That's not his actual name. Okay, now I feel bad for insulting the poor guy. But we're going to be dealing with him a little later. For starters, let's see what this chest has. The mailbag. We're going to be able to return this to the post office. We can actually read our letters again. Oh, hi, Cammy. I forgot you were a thing. So, like with what you did during the Peach intermission, whatever answers you gave to Bowser, Kammy Koopa will deliver said items or enemies to to guard the chest. Got a defense plus right there. Defense plus will increase your defense by 1. However, it requires the most amount of badge points to equip. At least I think it does. No, wait, no, I'm thinking of another badge. This one requires 6 badge points, essentially 2 level ups, which could be a bit tedious to do. It could be a bit tedious to have to sacrifice badge points, so I would usually recommend going against that, but from my test playthrough, I actually ended up using it. Got another badge there, the ice badge. Makes all your attacks ice-based, and this will allow you to deal more damage to fire enemies. Unfortunately, there's only one fire enemy in this level, so it is kind of useless. For now, at least. We'll be getting into its proper use later on in the game. However, now you guys are going to hate me for this. We just got our frying pan back. So what I end up doing here is delivering the frying pan to him. And then he's going to give you an item. Or she, I always forget. It's a girl. Hopefully hopefully the computer didn't pick up that sound. I just didn't want to hear you guys to hear me drinking the water I had. Alright, so we get a cake. We're actually going to need that cake. It's mandatory. If you end up using it on yourself, don't worry. You can make another one. As for how, well, we'll get into that a little later. Who are we kidding? You can actually get cake mix in this game. There are roughly, I want to say 2 or 3 opportunities to get that in Chapter 4, and I believe you could buy it in certain shops. Next, we're going to give the calculator back to this guy. We actually got the calculator in the previous part. And once you do that, he gives you... Drum roll, please. There's no drums. He gives you the I Spy badge. Okay, so the I Spy badge. You know how a couple of parts ago I was sort of running around the Mushroom Kingdom collecting all the star pieces that are hidden under panels? The I Spy badge will allow you to locate these a lot easier. Assuming you're not using this as a guide. Basically what it does is that it creates a little like bubble above your head with a flashing star piece. And just like with the gem and the gem in Chapter 2 in the dry desert, it'll flash really fast when you're right next to a panel. And I also did the quest for the old man while I was out doing that too. Thankfully I was able to talk over that. But you bring the cake to this guy, and then he sort of... Apparently it's the greatest thing he's ever eaten. Now for someone of that size, you'd think he would drop a few pounds from running up like that. Oh well. Now we're gonna bring the cookbook back to the chef. Oh wait, no, this is where I actually do the old man stuff. So you might recall that I did not have the means to complete a side quest because we sort of had the run-in with the Shy Guys before we were able to actually complete that side quest because he asked for a cake of sorts. We weren't able to make it because all the Shy Guys robbed everyone of all their things. Now, the funny thing is I actually made a mistake here. I thought you needed cake mix and the goob nut. And when I ended up getting something else, I don't exactly remember what I got from cooking both. I had to look it up, only to realize that all you needed was the goob nut, so that was a mistake on my part, but now that we managed to do that... Are you big time, Mario? Well, this is heavenly. I'm nutty for this cake. Is that supposed to be a pun or something? Because it's called a nutty cake? Whatever. I got Zippity Doodah for that. That was the last favor I had to do in the between chapters, at least for now. We'll be going back to him later. I can hear the excitement from here. I don't know why I thought there was a panel there. Alright, we got some new enemies. Now, I do not remember if I went over the Groove Guys last time, but whatever, I'm gonna do it anyways. Groove Guys have an HP of 7, an attack of 2, and defense of 0. Raise your hand if you've heard this already in this chapter. These guys have actually a couple of things. They can attack you normally. They can do this stupid attack, where they essentially make Mario facepalm. That is the Dizzy status. It essentially allows you to do nothing. Zippity doodah, nada, zip zero zilch. It's like Mario just feels a sense of failure when he's in the Dizzy mode. That's what the Feeling Fine badge is for. Unfortunately, I did not equip it for this chapter. I wanted to prioritize other things. but I do recommend you doing so. Anyway, with the Fry guy, he has an HP of 7, an attack of 4, and a defense of 0. You want to be careful with the Fry guy because he can leave you with a burn status, and you'll take 1 point of damage each turn. Thankfully, the Ice Badge we got earlier would be very beneficial, but like I said, he's the only fire enemy we're really dealing with. Any case, let's move on. Had to cut that out because we already seen the enemy before. So there's actually going to be a lot of dead air because I think I was running an errand of some sort or whatever. But so for the past couple of months, we sort of been running. Me and the family has actually been running into a bit of trouble. We had to find a new place to live, and it took like absurdly long. We were in a motel for weeks. That was a disaster. I never want to sleep in a motel ever again after that. Then we had a little issue with gathering our internet together because the place we live in now is very finicky with using the internet out here, and the only one we could like properly use, the only ISP internet service provider, some of you didn't know what that was, is absurdly expensive. I guess it makes sense because we're like in a mountainous area now, but it's still kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, now that I'm done with that tangent, I could go into more into detail at a later date, but that's the only reason why this part took so long, because there was so much going on. It was a nightmare. Anyway, let's head on to the next station, Green Station. Now, we're actually just about done this chapter, because once you do all the stuff you need to do in the Green Station, we actually got a mini-boss and the main boss. Which is weird, because I believe this is like the only chapter where the mini-boss and the main boss are this close together. Because nothing's actually stopping you from fighting the mini-boss, ignoring everything else. Assuming there is anything else, I don't remember. Because I finished chapter 4 before recording what I'm doing right now, the voiceovers. The post-commentary, if you will. And since it's been at least 2 months, my memory's a bit hazy. And if I'm stuttering a lot during this video, it's because I'm brushing off a lot of rust. I do not know why I left this in. I probably should have just left this out. Because I was kind of running out of things to talk about. But yeah, like I was saying, like there's not much left to this chapter, thankfully. And the best part is jumping the gun a bit. I did cut something out. Anyways, there's not much dead space between chapter 4 and 5, so we can almost immediately jump into chapter 5 after one part of extra stuff, because I do intend to take on an optional boss fight in the next not the next part, the part after. Now this part's a little interesting. Got this conveyor belt. You're gonna want to use Bow here, or Bow, whatever you want to call her. I know most people call her Bow, but for like the longest time I called her Bow because, like, you would think she considers herself a proper lady, so she would do a bow. I know that's usually a gentleman thing to do, but I'd like to think a woman could do it too. But yeah, I've always thought that Bo was very sophisticated. So that's how. That's the only reason why I pronounced it that way. I know it's Bo nowadays. Got the super soda. I think it only really cures poison. Now we got the dictionary. I do intend to return it, but you don't really need to actually. Like you could be an absolute jerk and not bother to return the dictionary. You do need it for something, technically. It's for a puzzle we're actually going to encounter in a little bit. I got lazy. I didn't feel like taking him out. I actually wanted to show this thing off. A little slot machine. If you lined all the things up, you get an assortment of things. In this case, you get 2 Shy Guys. Now pay attention to this battle in particular. The reason why I'm showing it off is because it's not mandatory per se. Because if you really want to, you could RNG the puzzle coming up. But you might have noticed the interesting formation it's got going on. Yellow, green, red, and blue. Also, I decided to use the snowman because I just wanted to get a move on. Now, I do not know why I decided to use the power bomb for that. Oh, it's probably because I was on the brink of leveling up anyways. Whatever. Do I bother to go fight the other guy then, just for the level up? I don't think so. Again, like I said, I barely remember this. So anyway, that the set order pertains to all these blocks. You hit it in the correct order, and you'll get Let me see if I got it right. Nope. If you get it wrong, a whole bunch of Shy Guys pop out. Don't worry, you don't have to fight any of them. Leave the room, and the boxes reset. There we go. There we go, I got it right. Second try. Now, since I'm not showing it off, basically what you're supposed to do is bring the memo you got from that battle, along with the dictionary, back to the nerd back in Toadon. I don't remember his name, but he's supposed to tell you to hit the blocks in that order. Anyways, now that we're all done that, I think we're going to call it a part here, so next time on Paper Mario, we're going to wrap up this chapter and get our 4th star spirit. So until then, I got a juice.